What will fix it? What do you want to see happen to fix it?
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball, and wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to joy back. I'm happy here, you know, off the court, but I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Making no sense at all. It could really be difficult. And tonight, one of those really difficult nights for the team.
Peace and blessings, y'all. Welcome to the Heat Hour right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel, where I, Ajani, one half of the GOAT James Kingdom platform, come out and talk about the Miami Heat on a Monday night. I got special guests with me here, some true Heat fans, so shout out to Davey Dallas, who also has the Dave Doghouse and also on Refuse to Lose Sports channel as well. Shout out to Martell, who's a part of the Heat Zone channel. So shout out to both of you brothers. Thank you for joining me. Let's start with you, Dave. Go ahead, Dave, plug in your channel. Let everybody know what you at. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
What's going on, everybody? I'm glad to be here. Appreciate you for inviting me to be on your platform. Even though, like I said in the back, even though your platform name is crazy. But yeah, you can find me at Dave's Doghouse on YouTube. It's just like how it says right there on the bottom, Dave's Doghouse. And Refuse to Lose, right there in my background. That's where you can find it. When you search it, make sure you put in the number 2 when you search it. So that's where you'll find me. It's me, my guy Tomo and Joe. We do a show every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m.
No doubt, no doubt. And we also, we got my boy Martell in the building. What up, Martell, from the Miami Heat Zone? Go ahead and plug in your channel, brother.
Yeah, so the Miami Heat Zone, thank you for having me on the show. We are here today to cook this Miami Heat team, cook Pat Riley, cook Jimmy Butler, and let's really get into this show.
Indeed. Let's get right into it. As y'all know, Martell is a big-time Heat fan. I'm a big-time Heat fan. So is Dave. So we're here to talk about the Heat. If you're a GOAT James Kingdom member, you're more than welcome to go ahead and put the comments in. If you're not going to be able to comment. This is a special members show because we're talking about Miami Heat only. We're not here to talk about nothing else. So we're going to discuss Jimmy Butler, as we stated before. As y'all know, Jimmy Butler's out here saying how he's just not happy playing in Miami. We really don't like that. So to be honest with you, it's drama. It's Heat, soap opera drama at its finest. We're gonna do our Heat rundown, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. And to be honest with you, this is embarrassing as a Heat fan for myself. I don't like this. I don't like that when we're talking about the Miami Heat. What we're talking about is drama between Pat Riley and Jimmy Butler. Who's gonna win this whole beef between the two? Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's creating this division? As you can see, Martell's ready to go in on everybody. He don't care because he's interested in winning, and we should all be interested in winning. So Jimmy claims he still wants to win. He still wants to do it. He's just not happy doing it here in Miami. But this is all started with Pat Riley for me, man, because Pat Riley has to understand that what he got into with Jimmy Butler. Jimmy should have understood it too. You should have understood what you was getting into when you were coming to Miami. In reality, it's kind of like they need one another. Pat Riley has already basically put it on the table like, bro, you're not going to get nowhere better than here. You're not going to get more money than here. You're not going to be more successful anywhere else than here. So you make the choice. This is what we're giving you. And this is where we got to. Now we have full-out soap opera drama for the NBA because the season was kind of boring, right? We had Mike Brown get fired. That was kind of the first kind of drama thing. But this Jimmy Butler thing is always been the pendulum for drama this year. Even when it first started off with him changing his hairstyles. So now we're looking at our Heat team as the drama of the NBA. Let's start with you, Dave. What do you think about us being the soap opera of the NBA?
Honestly, when I look at it and I look back to when we signed Jimmy, we should have expected it, honestly. We should have expected some kind of drama because of who Jimmy was and who Pat Riley is. If we look at the history of Jimmy, it's always been some sort of issue of how teams have dealt with him, whether it was him or the team. And if you look at Pat Riley has a history of running off his superstars. It started with Tim Hardaway. Then it was Alonzo Mourning. Then it was Dwayne Wade. Then it was Shaq. Then it was Dwayne Wade, and LeBron, and now it's Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's probably the only person that's not necessarily considered a superstar. If you look at all the people that I named, he's probably the only person not considered a superstar, and maybe Tim Hardaway. But other than that, we know what Alonzo Mourning was to Miami Heat. We know what Shaq was when he got here. We know about Dwayne Wade. We know about LeBron. But Jimmy Butler is the only person, if you were to look at all those other guys, he's the only person that has thrived with less talent. If you look at any rosters that we've had before when it comes to Jimmy, Jimmy has done the best with less. And that's with him missing a lot of time and with others also missing time. You look at the bubble. He wasn't even the leading scorer in the playoffs that time. It was Goran Dragic. Dragic and Bam were the two that were pretty much playing the best. But when it got to the finals, he stepped up, and that's when he pretty much had those two triple-double games in the finals and forced a game 6. It probably would have been different if we had Dragic and Bam there, but we can only deal with what we had. Then you look at, was it the year right after that? It was the COVID year, and we pretty much couldn't do nothing that season. Then right after that, because we got swept in the playoffs, same with the Lakers. People forget about that. Not only did we lose in the playoffs, the Lakers lost in the playoffs that same season. Then the year after that, we go sign PJ Tucker. We become the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and then lose in the Eastern Conference Finals to the Celtics. Then the year after that, that's when we get to the finals again. And then, now we're here. So we're here now. We got to deal with this. And this is pretty much what we should really expect. We should have expected this to happen somehow. And I think Pat handled this wrong when he publicly called out Jimmy. Even though Jimmy had said something while he was hurt about the Celtics going home and the Knicks being home if he was healthy, I think Pat should have just talked to Jimmy himself and be like, hey, I understand this, but I would like for it to go this way. And who knows what would have happened? That's a private conversation, but he made it public. So.
Yeah, he messed up, man. He dropped the ball there. So, Martell, what do you think, man? We're the basically soap opera of the NBA. Everybody's talking about us, but only in the sense of drama and what's going to happen with the Heat. They're not talking about us winning the championship nor Biscayne in June, and it's disturbing me. What do you think, sir?
So we really got to break this down, because I know a lot of people, they're saying, oh, well, Pat Riley, he ran off all these people. First of all, Shaq almost punched Pat Riley in the face, and Shaq was known for beefing with all his coaches. He didn't get along with a lot of people, so I won't say that. LeBron, he was leaving anyway. He wanted to go back to Cleveland. So just off those two alone, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Pat Riley isn't a military, dude, and he's not strict, but believe it or not, that is called a Class A organization. I say that because all Pat Riley really wants you to do is be in shape. Obviously, they had crazy rules, but when you look at structure and when you look at a great organization, I would want almost every organization to be like that, because then you have a bunch of guys like Zion Williams, who he can't put down the oxtail pizza, he can't put down the gumbo. Okay, then you have guys like Ben Simmons, who he wants to claim mental health, and these guys are making $50 and $60 million a game. Okay, I just don't understand why people are really upset about what Pat Riley said when we all know who Pat Riley is. Jimmy Butler said it out of his own mouth. The Miami Heat, they have allowed me to be me. So all these Miami Heat fans running around capping for millionaires, because that's all they're doing. Oh, you shouldn't have said this to Jimmy Butler. First of all, that's why Jimmy Butler came here. He said he liked how the Miami Heat, operate. He likes the accountability. And then now he's being held accountable and he doesn't like it. Okay? When his father passed away, rest in peace, Pat Riley and Mickey and them flew down there to go see him. Okay? And then at the end of the day, like I said, they allowed Jimmy Butler to do things that no other NBA superstar, that their franchise guy, the man they built a statue of in front of the arena, could not do. He gets to go to all these other hotels, stay away from the team, go to Airbnbs, and only God knows what else he could do. Changing his hair, sniffing coffee, riding horses, playing dominoes, all this stuff. the Jimmy Butler character they allow him to be. And he said it out of his own mouth. So when he sat up there and lied and capped in front of everyone talking about, oh, well, I don't have joy anymore, that has nothing to do with the Miami Heat. All Pat Riley was saying is, listen, we allow you to play 50 games during the regular season. So don't sit around here and say, oh, I wish it, oh, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, when at the end of the day, you should have been out on the floor. There's a lot of things going on right now with this Miami Heat team. All I'm saying is Jimmy Butler is in the middle of a contract where he's making $48.8 million. And I see Miami Heat fans running around, lying and capping for millionaires when this man can opt in next year for $52 million. Meanwhile, the same people who are telling me this, they're over here working overtime, triple time, overtime, okay, to put food on the table. So I have no sympathy for these dudes. You might not agree with what Pat wants to do right now, but you're telling me that we can half-ass that work and get a raise? No. And it's the same thing with Jimmy Butler. He wants to play 50, 60 games and make $50 million, and even when he's on the floor, he's still half-assing and cheating the game. All three of us have more passion, have more fire, have more energy, have more drive towards the game of basketball than Jimmy Butler and all these stars like Zion Williams and Ben Simmons who want to cheat the game.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now, Martell. You need to be a school principal, brother. You are something else, brother. You as strict as they get, brother. You don't play, boy. Shout out to Martell. Like he said, he came here to go after everybody. And as you can see, listen, Dave, that's the issue right now we having with the Heat. It's a Pat Riley versus a Jimmy thing, right? So you see Martell brought up all of these things and the idea of Jimmy and what Jimmy's been able to have with the Heat, how Pat Riley has been able to be who Pat Riley is. You wanted to bring up the idea of, did Pat Riley and the Heat give enough help for Jimmy, and is that enough to make Jimmy feel uncomfortable playing with the Heat? So let's talk about that. Did Pat Riley do his job in bringing up help for Jimmy?
Hell no.
Well, let's let Dave go first, and then you go next, Martell.
Martell pretty much said what I was going to say. No, he did not. He did not. There's no way someone can say that he did everything he could to put the talent around Jimmy or Jimmy Bam and Tyler Hero to have them succeed. These are all the players that he signed in this era with Jimmy Butler. And this list is missing 3 players, so I'm going to make sure I name these 3 players as well. Markieff Morris, Victor Oladipo, who already had an injury history. Caleb Martin, even though he shined, he hasn't done much before us, and he's not doing much now with the 76ers. Dwayne Dedman, he wasn't even in the league at the time. Kyle Lowry, he was past his prime. PJ Tucker helped out defensively, but that was pretty much it. He was gone after that season. Trevor Ariza wasn't even in the league. Kevin Love, that was a buyout. Thomas Bryant. If you have followed me so far, you know exactly how I feel about Thomas Bryant. I'm glad that he's gone. He should have been gone. He should have never signed back. And Josh Richardson. We know how he got here. He got drafted here, then sent away, and then he came back. He has not done much of anything before, and he ain't doing nothing now because he's been injured, or his minutes just don't account to nothing. The 3 players that we failed to name that was also in this is Cody Zeller. That's another one that we had. We all know how bad he was. You also look at the only 2 players that were the only player that had some, other than Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry, that had some championship pedigree was Andre Iguodala. People forget that we had him. He was there for the bubble. And Crowder, Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder was good. I like Jay Crowder.
I did too.
Held on to him. I don't know why we ain't held on to him.
I did too. But if you look at it, what is out of that list? And Terry Rozier. I can't forget about Terry Rozier because Terry Rozier is someone who we just acquired last season. But if you look at that, how many of those guys that we picked up was a huge necessity other than Kyle Lowry because he was a facilitating point guard?
And Rozier
But Rozier's he's not a facilitating point guard. He's a scoring guard.
I know. We was hoping he was going to be able to do. So he's not even a scoring point guard, let alone
I mean,
a facilitator
now
right now.
He definitely is
Yeah.
now.
Oh my
But,
God. I mean,
we haven't had.
I like the PJ Tucker thing, but again, when I get my turn, I'll tell you about it. Let's let Martell in about it. Martell, you heard what he said. You heard the players that he named. Do you feel Pat Riley did a good job surrounding a good enough team for Jimmy? And did Jimmy get enough help?
Hell
I
no.
know that you said they treated him like differently than any other star from Miami, but did they give him enough help as far as roster wise?
Hell no. Now, I will say we do have to hold Jimmy Butler accountable because he wanted out of shape and overweight eating burgers and shakes Kyle Lowry. So we have to hold him accountable. We have to hold him accountable with that one. Now, in terms of roster construction, ever since the bubble, you're telling me that we've been using Caleb Martin and Haywood Highsmith at the 4. We've been getting out-rebounded since the Lakers series in the bubble. And Pat Riley has failed. Okay, he has failed to actually put size next to Bam Adebayo. We have not had a reliable, competent backup 5 since Kelly Olynyk. And it's a shame and it's a disgrace that Pat Riley sat up there and said that I have a problem trading players. So then get this man out of here. If he has a problem trading players, which that don't even sound like the right Pat Riley to me. That sounds more like Joe Biden. Okay, so he needs to be booted out of the organization immediately. What happened to the old Pat Riley that traded 5 players for 5 players? In terms of roster construction, terrible job. He would rather rely on undrafted guys, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but you cannot expect undrafted guys to carry your team with Jimmy and Bam and Tyler in and out of the lineup. It just won't work because eventually they all have their ceiling. Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and all them boys, I salute them.
Kendrick Nunn.
But you can't maximize talent like that at the end of the day. And then when it comes to bad asset management, he's using first and second round picks to get off of players because he gave them bad contracts.
And giving undrafted guys bad contracts too. Gave
Duncan Robinson $90 million.
Oh my God.
When we made him, and because a lot of people are gonna say, oh, but that's what the shooters were getting at that time. No, we made Duncan Robinson. If we would have gave him $30 million, he would have had to took that because guess what? We took him out of the YMCA, not anyone else. We developed him and we made him. And they were gonna even make a bigger mistake.
Though. He gotten better.
Yes, he has, but that was
injuries.
After.
The last 2 years when he was injured. The last 2 years.
That was after.
I'm talking about in the moment. In the moment.
No, I know in the moment, but I'm just saying like that. You draft for potential, and you sign for potential. The idea was you're going to develop him for the next 3-4 years, and they kind of did. He's a lot better than what he was then when he signed that contract. He's just been hurt.
And then they were going to even make a bigger mistake by trying to give Caleb Martin $60 million for what? Why on earth are we going to give him $60 million for?
A slashing 3-and-D guy. We need that.
But
we're missing the hell out of him right now.
No. I think we would have been winning and losing games like how we are right now, with or without him.
What you mean we
were not using him right.
He's the 4.
There's no point in putting him and Haywood Highsmith at the 4 and expect that to be successful. That made absolutely no sense. I'm glad you brought that up, Martell, because that pissed me off so many times. I said, why do we have Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin playing power forwards? That makes no sense. They're going to get dominated every single time. And that's my issue because you don't give us a true center or a center to back up Bam.
No, if you're going to use
give us a true point guard.
No, if you're gonna do that, you gotta run. Right? So that the issue is we don't have a point guard, but that's why I wanted to bring up the next topic because you guys are talking about the health of Jimmy, whether it's Jimmy's fault to why Jimmy doesn't attract players to come play with him because there's been the notion that people don't like playing with Jimmy and the notion of Pat Riley and the Heat and people don't like playing for the Miami Heat and teams don't like to trade with Pat Riley.
Yeah, so let me cook on that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get right to it. Right. Let me get to it. Let me bring in my segment on it, and then you can get in on Martell. Right. So there is obviously this thing where there's the NBA versus what quote unquote the Heat culture. Right. Pat Riley has set a foundation for what the Miami Heat is about. You come to Miami Heat as a player, or if you come work for the Miami Heat, or when you come play us down here, whatever it is, you know what to expect from us. Like Lamartell said, we are a Class A organization. Right. So with that being said, it's been difficult for us. Because we still have not evolved or adapt as fast as the NBA has evolved and adapted. And I tell people that ever since like the 2017-2018 NBA season, there's been a drastic height and peak in the NBA as far as talent goes, as far as player movement, the idea of player independency, as far as player empowerment. A lot of things have changed in the NBA, and Pat Riley and the Heat organization have stood still. We're still in the archaic age of how we want to deal with players, how we want to deal with franchises, how we want to try to move, being very shiesty in a lot of different ways. Just being real, how can I say this, standoffish and real incognito is enough for people to have enough to say about you. Because in today's age where anything could come out into the media, it's not like how it was back in the days where you put something in the paper, you knew, okay, well, who leaked that to the paper? Today, you can leak it to a social media site. You can leak it to Martell. You can leak it to, you know what I'm saying? You can leak it anywhere you want, and it could be out there in the world. And now you have that thing where people could say anything they want about you, and you're over here being incognito and to yourself and things of that nature. So I think the idea of the Heat culture is wearing down on the players. That's why we can't really get players to help Jimmy, because at the end of the day, a lot of people don't really want to come to Miami. And I always will use Jermaine O'Neal as an example, because this was over 10 years ago, basically 15 years ago, where Jermaine O'Neal said that he decided to eat Oreos instead of sign with the Miami Heat Big Three. He knew that they were going to sign LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and they were coming, and all he had to do was make the quote-unquote in-shape rule to be a part of the team. And he decided that he wasn't even going to go through a summer of not eating Oreos and snacks, so he didn't sign with the Miami Heat. So I know you said you wanted to cook, Martell, and I'm going to let you cook on that, but we got to change this idea of what Heat culture is. This idea we got guys like Max Strus and Duncan Robinson, their starts is what makes us great. Those are average bum players. We're talking about signing cream of the crop, championship contending players. We need to change the idea of what Heat culture is, because it's not working for the NBA, especially the players.
Yeah, and I feel like Pat Riley has definitely gotten away from that. We know what it takes to win a championship. We had LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. And then even in year 2 and year 3, we got high-level role players. Shane Battier, Mike Miller, Ray Allen, and the list goes on. Birdman, Anderson, those were high-level role players. And I just think that, with this whole Heat culture thing, don't get me wrong, I think that even Jermaine O'Neal, guess what? You can go have that pot belly and keep those Oreos too. Because like I said, at the end of the day, these guys don't love the game. So what I mean by that is, if you're telling me that you can't put down the Oreos, listen, I'm telling you right now, if you can give me $1 million, I'll go run 30, 50 burpees right now. I'll run the locker room.
Let me ask you a question, though. But let me ask you a question, Martell. If we had Jermaine O'Neal, we're not losing that 2011 championship. We're winning the championship with him.
But why? Hold on. But why you can't stay in shape though?
It doesn't matter. He doesn't have to be in Heat shape. He just has to be on the team, on the roster. He would have been in shape in June when we needed him.
But
we don't. Okay. Not in October.
But I agree with you. But all I'm saying is, listen, when you come to the Miami Heat, you know what you're gonna sign up for.
That's
all I'm saying is, listen. All I'm saying is that Pat Riley wants you to be in shape. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Now, when you taking cookies off the plane and you doing all these crazy little things like that, okay, then we can have that conversation. But I'm just talking about the standard, because you got to understand, the Miami Heat have set a standard. Okay, and you're right. There's a lot of people that, guess what, the Miami Heat's not for them. And I agree. I do think, though, that Pat Riley has been more modern. Because, like I said, look at Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler admitted to it himself. Now, you also have to think about this. The NBA has not forgiven us for what we did to them with the Big Three. A lot of people don't want to help the Miami Heat. A lot of people have bad relationships with Pat Riley. That's why, in my humble opinion, I like Pat Riley. I think he's been great for the Heat culture, but he has to go, because it's just like in politics. All these 80 and 90-year-old people sitting up here in Congress and all over, they got to go. Like I said, Pat Riley sat up on a podcast and said, I have a hard time trading players. So get out of here, then, my man, because that's your job, to trade players and to improve the roster. So in my humble opinion, and like I said, because I won't go on a huge rant here, but I just think that we can still keep Heat culture, and I think it's starting to get more modern. But the reason why you need Heat culture is because these guys are spoiled in the NBA. They're very spoiled. I know that I keep on using Zion and, and all these other guys, but they are spoiled in the NBA, and they feel like they don't have to work as hard. They think that they can miss games, like James Harden. He was running around in a fat suit because he couldn't go to the team he wanted. All this foolishness. You can't do those type of things in Heat culture.
Yeah. Again, it's tough, man. The Heat culture is tough. It's rough on the players.
We have to
I'm
be
with
more
you though. It
modern.
is Heat versus everybody. It's us versus all of them. Forget the NBA. It's us versus everybody. But we gotta be able to make it a little bit more flexible to get players the more the desire to play down here. It's very easy to say that there's no state income tax. There's beautiful weather, beautiful women, beautiful place to live. But you got to change it just a little bit. Even with Shaq, like I said, Shaq used to put grease on his body because in the middle of the season they testing your body mass index. So Davey, what you think about that? Because we got some good players, and we've attracted stars. We've attracted LeBron. We attracted plenty of players. We've done it before, and we can do it again. But what do you think of the idea that there's this lingering Heat culture that just the NBA just is not comfortable with?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely the case, but you have to look at it in two different ways. You look at Pat Riley, you look at what how people view him as the president of basketball operations for the Miami Heat. If you look at people how view him, he's very old school. The way he treats a lot of things, and that is not necessarily going to work in the NBA this day and age. It is now a players' league. So players are more than likely going to win the battle most of the time. So when it comes to stuff like that, you have to pay attention to how the league is changing and how it's growing. I mentioned this when we talked about last night when we were on Martell's channel talking about how businesses change and why certain businesses get shut down. If you look at Blockbuster, how that got shut down, they didn't adjust to what everything was going on. And that's why Netflix and all these other things are out now because, Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, they show all the movies that we still like to see, Prime Video. So you got all of that stuff that you can see. But Blockbuster is not around because they didn't adjust. That's what can happen. That's what's happening right now to the Miami Heat. The front office has not adjusted to what the rest of the league is doing.
Facts.
If you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, you look at the Utah Jazz, even though the Utah Jazz are not winning, they're still doing a lot of moving parts. They have a lot of draft picks. They got money, so they're doing a lot of things to try to improve the roster per se. You look at teams like the Nuggets. The Nuggets weren't always considered a championship level team, but look at what they did. They went and won the finals against us, but still they put themselves in position for that. You look at the Lakers, even though they haven't gotten anywhere since they won the championship in 2020. Remember the same year we went to the Eastern Conference, the same year we went to the finals being the AC, they were in the Western Conference finals after being in the play-in. So both our teams, you still see that they're doing their best to improve. There are other teams in the NBA that are still able to go get stars and improve their team. They may not have had the success that we've had, but we have had the success without even improving the roster enough to be like, we should be considered championship level teams. The only time where they were okay with putting us as a championship level team was the same year that we were the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. Other than that, we have been pretty much a joke in the East as far as where they feel like where we would be. The last 2 or 3 years, we've been a play-in team, and that's not Miami Heat basketball. That's not Heat culture. That's not what we're known for. We're not known for fighting for 7 and 8 spots and just figuring out a way to fight through the playoffs. That's not what we do. And right now, you can also say that it's because of us not being able to get players. It's just, and I think it's false that players don't want to play with Jimmy, because remember when Jimmy Butler was a free agent at the same time that Kawhi Leonard was trying to get Jimmy Butler to play in LA
instead of Pandemic P. You're right.
Exactly. And you look at if you just look at this past offseason, the 76ers were trying to get Jimmy Butler they were trying to trade Jimmy Butler to go back to Philly because Embiid wanted him. Jimmy Butler can attract players. It's the same thing for Bam, because Damian Lillard wanted to play in Miami because he has a great relationship with Bam Adebayo. That same season, when Giannis signed his contract, the only reason why he was waiting because he wanted to see how long it would take for us to give Bam his contract. Him and Bam have the same agent, so there was a slight possibility that we could have possibly had a situation where we could have had a chance to talk to Giannis to see if he wanted to come to Miami. So we've had all these instances, and then you look at players' lists. You look at Bradley Beal right now. He said that he will waive his no trade clause to come to Miami. You look at
we don't want him.
He's fraudulent.
I'm just saying. Whether we want him or not, I'm just naming the players. LaMarcus Aldridge wanted to come here. Kevin Durant wanted to come here. James Harden wanted to come here.
Well, I never think Kevin Durant ever wanted to come to Miami.
Kyrie Irving wanted to come here. There's so many players we can name that had put Miami on their list of where they wanted to go, but they went elsewhere because of it was either the league
lack of assets. To be honest,
Pat Riley.
No, but it was also Pat Riley. Pat Riley dropped the ball.
Pat Riley did not want to go get him. We
could have
gotten Kyrie, but Pat Riley said no. We could have gotten James Harden. Pat Riley said no.
Nah, definitely Harden was a thing. But, instead of talking about all these players that we should have and not have, what we try and get rid of, let's talk about the players that are actually balling for us that make us go watch them every night. I don't care about what you say, Martel. I still be ready to watch my Heat play, and I'll be excited because we do struggle. We do have some bad moments, but we've had some great moments, and we've obviously, like Dave wanted to say, we have an all-star in Hero. He should be an all-star this year. He's been balling like an all-star. This guy is balling this year. So let's talk about the guy that's really the best player on our team and playing like it, the all-star Tyler Hero. Dave, what do you think of Tyler Hero? Should he be on the all-star team, and will he make the all-star team?
I think he should. Will he make it? I don't know. I think he should be. But if you look at the all-star thing, it's a popularity contest. Is Tyler Hero popular? Is he? That's Heat Nation. That's different. That's for us. We like the Miami Heat. But if you look at the entirety of the NBA, is Tyler Hero a player that people want to see play basketball? Not necessarily. And I can look at that from just my own NBA chat that I have on Instagram. There's not too many people that praise Tyler Hero, that think Tyler Hero is an all-star type player. I have some people that think Austin Reeves is a better player than Tyler Hero. So
they crazy. They smoking crack.
I hear that too.
Mind. Yeah,
I hear that too. But what I'm saying is he has stepped his game up in a season where I personally criticized him because I didn't like what I saw before. And he had his opportunity to show exactly how good he was when we played against the Celtics last in the playoffs. Now I get it. Jimmy Butler wasn't there. Josh Richardson was hurt and Terry Rozier was hurt. So I gave him a bit of a pass, but still the way he played was not good. It's as if he played scared, like he wasn't really trying to attack the basket. And he looked really timid. This season, he looks totally different. He's ready to take over games. When it comes to the last shot or anything, he's the one that pretty much has the ball. He's making the decision. This is what we wanted from Hero when we drafted him because we saw what he could do in the bubble. We was like, okay, well, this is what you can do in the bubble. Then we want to see this continue. And we have not seen that. We've only seen it. The only other time we saw that is when he won Sixth Man of the Year. And that was him being on the bench. This is different because he's actually starting. He's starting and playing a lot better. He's averaging almost 24 points per game, almost 6 rebounds, almost 5 assists, and he's shooting really good. He's shooting good from the field,
lights out,
from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
he's
shooting, lighting it up.
He's shooting phenomenal.
To shoot above 45% as much threes as he shoots, he's lighting it up. And he's shooting 40% from 3-point land as well. Yeah, indeed. He's lighting it up.
So he's balling. I believe he should be an all-star. To me, I believe he's an all-star. But like I said, the all-star game is a popularity contest. I don't think he's popular enough to be in the all-star.
All right, what do you think about that, Martel? What do you think about the only star we got on our team, the only guy that's balling out for real? The only bright star we have, Tyler Hero.
Yeah, because don't worry. We're going to get to that man, Bama Bio, in a minute. But Tyler Hero, he has been great. I still want to see how this season plays out. I want to see what it looks like when the defense is really focused on him. I think he's definitely improved. He is balling. And it's like what you guys said. I don't know if the NBA will allow him to be an all-star because of the jealousy and the envy and the hatred of the NBA towards the Miami Heat you already know how they're going to try to put the whole Boston starting lineup in the All-Star game, or the Cleveland whole starting lineup in the All-Star game. People are trying to say that Garland is better than Tyler Hero. That's a lie. Maxey hasn't really been better than Tyler Hero this season. He has in the past. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that Tyler Hero's been great. But like I said, I want to see how does he perform under pressure, and how does he perform when the defense is schemed against him.
I mean, he balls out. I mean, he's put the ball on the floor a lot more.
Because the teams haven't made the adjustments yet.
Yeah, I know they haven't. But the thing is that he's put the ball on the floor a lot more, and he's always been a good shooter. So he's always had the mid range and the 3-point shot. But now that he's attacking the basket more, that's helpful. But the thing is that now, ever since we put him at point guard, he's kind of like having to facilitate a little bit more, which he's doing a good job of. But I still don't like it. I'd rather him be the assassin that he is and just worry about shooting and scoring, so he doesn't have to worry about all of that. I don't think he's I don't think he's that all around player we need him doing all of that. But it is a contract year for him. So I've been voting for him to be an all-star. To be honest with you, I've been every time I get a chance to make a vote, when I remind myself to do it every day, I make sure Tyler Hero's the guy that I vote for the backcourt for the Eastern Conference team, and I think he should make an all-star team. I think it's hard for him to make it because there's so many good guards in the NBA in general, let alone in the Eastern Conference. When we're talking about guys, I mean, think about this: Trae Young's never been an all-star.
A shame.
Exactly. So like when you really think about it in that sense. Like you said, they're trying to put Garland in there, White and Holiday, and like you said, sometimes there is some politics to it because it is the coaching and the execs that vote for the reserves. But as a fan, I've been voting for Tyler Hero. I think he's been that good. He's been the star for our team. So at the end of the day, shout out to him, man. Let's hope that he can continue to do that. Because even if he's not an all-star, I hope he can actually make some All-NBA votes. But if he does get all NBA votes, we're in trouble because then he's going to get the supermax. That means we're going to have to give him 300 plus.
Yeah.
So let's also hope we don't make that.
Also, 98% of the time, people with his stats make the All-Star team. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, man. But let's get right to the next topic, the one I wanted to bring up, the guy who's supposed to be the star of the team, the guy who's supposed to be taking that next leap and showing us that he's the player that we all know that he actually is, well, at least as a Miami Heat fan, because we've all heard the rumors. We've heard all about the one-on-ones and the things he does in practice and all of the hard work and all the things that he puts into his game and but we don't see it. We don't see it on a night-to-night basis. Martell goes in about Jimmy not playing games that, like I said, we watch plenty of time where Bam is not trying to take over. He's not trying to dominate. He's not putting pressure at the rim on both sides of the floor. It's like, where are you at? I blame Asia Wilson, but again, I don't have her number. I've been trying to reach her for like the last month because ever since he's been with her, it ain't been the same Bam Adebayo, and I don't blame him because when you go home to that sweet nectar, you ain't worrying about only having 7 rebounds and 14 points. She make you feel all right. It's okay. She pat him on the head, and everything's fine. While she out there going and putting up 25 and 15 on her own and winning league MVPs. But Bam is messing up, man. Martell, what's wrong with Bam Adebayo, man?
So I will say this. This Miami Heat team has also failed Bam. So they failed Jimmy, but they also failed Bam. Because, like I said, they have not put a playmaking point guard to even set him up, and that's a shame. 1. So I'm already cooking Pat Riley's helmet right now. Also, 2, why are we giving Bam a 6'4" power forward that cannot rebound and Haywood Heisman or Caleb Martin? That's strike 2, Pat Riley. And then strike 3, he does not have a reliable backup 5. Yeah, Khalil Ware's on the roster, but he's a rookie. I can't expect him to give me good big man backup role minutes. And Kevin Love, he's 60 years old. He can only do so much. He ain't going to play nowhere near no 82 games. So, once again, I got to say this before I cook on Bam. The Miami Heat failed him. The Miami Heat failed him completely. No playmaking and no size next to him. No switchable, movable size next to him at all. Now on Bam. The reason why I got to cook on Bam is because they crowned him king. The organization said he's the next leader. Udonis hasn't sat up there and said, I'm giving you the torch to carry Heat culture. And you're telling me this guy said he doesn't want to be the captain? That's why, bro, that's what I mean, bro. These guys don't love the game, bro. They don't love the game, bro. And that's the bro talking about I don't want to be captain. He said he wants to be remembered like D Wade and them boys. And these guys don't love the game. What do you mean you don't want to be the captain? What do you mean that you have a problem talking to people in the locker room? That's the stuff that I just don't understand, bro. Udonis Haslam gave him the torch. Everyone and their mom, D Wade, everybody down, Lonzo, they all said, Bam is the dude. Bam is the franchise guy. Now, I will say, because I'm a cook on Spoelstra too, he's another one that got to get it too. At the end of the day, guys, this 5-out offense is terrible, and it doesn't help Bam and it doesn't help Jimmy because our two best players cannot shoot threes. And I know I kind of jumped the gun on Spo, but this 5-out offense does not help anybody besides Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. Because outside of those two, they can't shoot threes. Bam can't shoot threes, so you change the offense. They took away his mid-range game, which was his best game. They took away his mid-range. So now you handicapped him on top of, and I got to go back to Pat Riley and cook his ass again, bad roster construction. Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero can't stay in front of anybody. So that means that Bam Adebayo has to now guard 1 through 5.
Covers so much space.
Cover so much space.
It's just a lot of space.
Then he got to turn around and rebound. Oh, then someone slipped that door. He's literally guarding 1 through 5. He's guarding Kyrie. Then he's guarding Joel Embiid. Then he's guarding Luka. Then he's running around. He got to guard the bench too. Because there is no good defenders on this team. So at the end of the day, like I said, they failed. They failed Bam Adebayo in terms of roster construction and defense and rebounding and size. However, though, if you're the max guy, my man, if they crowned you king, if they said that you're holding the Heat culture torch, you can't come out there with no 4 points. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You need to tell these dudes, yo, get the hell out the way and give me the goddamn ball.
Damn.
I'm on everyone's helmet tonight. And then hold on too. Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier, that bum. We gave up a first-round pick for him, and he comes over here and forgets how to play basketball? He has forgotten what happened to Scary Terry.
Now I see
He can't
why.
make a shot to save his life.
I see why Buddy went in on you about why you be going on the Heat. Now I see why Buddy went in.
I'm cooking everything moving because this Miami Heat team's been together for 6 years. For 6 years, and they don't know how to play with each other, and Coach Spo can't put a lineup out there that even they don't even look like they've been playing together for 5 to 6 years. Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, we'll get to Spo. We'll get to Spo. Let's let Dave cook on Bam. So as you can see, man, Bam. I'm not gonna lie, man. This one I'm not gonna hate with you, Martell. You can go in on Bam because Bam has been a complete disappointment. I vouched for Bam so much. I started the whole offseason about how Bam was better than Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
And I have completely.
Do me a favor and keep those
stats. I have
stats.
to retract my statement. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. So
keep those stats up. Don't move it.
Okay. All right, I got you.
This is exactly what I'm about to talk about. Bam Adebayo. First of all, whether you want to say the 4 or the 5, you play in the paint. It is utterly ridiculous that you're shooting under 50% and you are predominantly supposed to be in the paint. If you are the guy, like Martell said, you have the ability to create your own shots, Bam. You're supposed to be the guy. We've seen what you can do multiple times. Your best game this season was against the Wizards when you put up 32 points. That is your best game. But it's against the Wizards. This is no disrespect to the Wizards, but the Wizards are not considered a championship kind of a team. Let's just be honest about it. They are a rebuilding team. And that's the team that you decided that you wanted to play all out on. What about the game against another team that's not good that you only scored 4 points against? Utah. What's up with that? You went to Utah and only had 4 points, and you didn't make a field goal. So all of that was for the free throw line. And not only can you not shoot threes, which I already knew that, they're forcing you to be able to do that because that's how the game is played today, which I don't understand. I think the NBA has a lack of identity when it comes to teams because too many teams want to be like the Warriors because the Warriors had success playing that way, not knowing that offense is a different version of the triangle offense. But hey, that's just me. I just know a little bit about that. Also, you're only shooting 72% from the free throw line, man. If your mid-range game is supposed to be good, then I would expect your free throw game to be good. We can't talk about you being a superstar, the next guy, and not criticize parts of your game where you should be good at. You should be a good free throw shooter and a good shooter on the floor because you should not be shooting from three a lot. Joel Embiid shoots from the three-point line more than maybe any center in the league, other than Karl Anthony Towns maybe, and Wemby, I guess. But Joel Embiid is still really good in the paint, which means he's shooting over 50% from the field, and he's like an 80% free throw shooter. Now, you're not the shooter that he is, but you have a good enough mid-range game to be able to work in your free throws, man. That's an issue that you need to fix. And yes, you have not had. I agree with Martell with this as well. He has not had the talent around him to be able to play his game, and we changed the offense that doesn't fit what he does well. What they did was they looked at him to be able to shoot a couple of threes last season and saw him make some threes in the Olympics, and they was like, you know what? Let's go to that. No, that does not work here. That does not work for everybody. You know that there have been 2 games this year by the same 2 teams where they missed 75 3-pointers in a game combined.
Damn.
And I think that was the Hornets and the Bulls. They've done that twice.
Sound like a Chicago Bulls game.
That shows you that not every team is meant to shoot 30, 40, 50 threes a game. That is not every team's identity. In Miami, that's not ours. We don't have those kind of shooters. Like Martell said, we only have Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and Pele. Pele Lawson is another good is a rookie, but he's a good 3-point shooter as well. But he doesn't get those kind of minutes to make an impact on the 3-point line. The other guys that we have, Alec Burks, so-so. Terry Rozier, we already talked about him. He's not a good 3-point shooter. Jimmy Butler, he's hot and cold. You don't know if he's going to be good or not. Anyone else? I mean, Khalil Ware, he's a rookie, but we don't know if he's really that great from 3 either. It's not our offense. And Bam, you can't be considered the next guy and be afraid of the moment to take over. You can't be the next guy and not be the voice in the locker room. Now, I know that Martell said that Udonis Haslem gave him the keys. First of all, Udonis Haslem has no keys to give anybody. That's just be honest. He is not that kind of a player to give those keys.
No. He culture.
He culture, yes.
He culture. That's what I meant by that. He culture.
I get the he culture, but I'm just saying we named the bench out of Udonis Haslem. That shows you how much we care about Udonis Haslem. I'm just saying. I may be the only one that found that funny, but that's how we feel about Haslem. You can't be that guy and then complain about certain stuff like the defensive player of the year and stuff like that. If you aren't,
he should have won it last year. He should have won it last year.
Don't even let me get started on that.
He should have won it last year. They robbed my boy of it last year. He should have been depoy last year. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
And he's a great defender. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't win games defending. Basketball means you need to put the ball in the hoop. You need to score. And Bam, you are only averaging 14 points per game. That 16 points per game. Sorry, I gave you. I was under 2 points of what you had, but 16 points. Bam, there's no reason why you shouldn't be in the league averaging at least 20 and 12. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do that.
Facts.
But now I thought that most players when they go to the Olympics they come back and play better because they were around better talent. You look at guys like, even though there are some guys that aren't doing that, but you have guys like Jason Tatum, who didn't really play at all, and he's having a good season this year. You look at Tyrese Halliburton, who started off bad, but the last 5 games he's been going off. We haven't had a stretch to say that Bam has been going off. If you think about that, there hasn't been a stretch this season to say that Bam is finally playing
33 games in, and with 33 games in, it's not going to change.
Exactly. So yeah. I don't know where it's going to come from, but this is the guy Pat said is untradeable. Said that he's not going anywhere.
He is untradeable.
We got to deal with that.
But you know what? Again, we've gone in so much on all the Heat problems and everything that the Heat has is issues. There's so many things going on. Like I said, it's just a bunch of drama with the Miami Heat this year, which I was not expecting to have. I was hoping to have a great season. But the only bright light and the true bright light should be Coach Spo. Because in reality, he should be the only one that got his head in the film studies and in the dark rooms and not paying attention to no newspapers, not paying attention to nothing. He should be the only one with the coaching staff trying to find out how can they resolve this Heat team so that we can win. Because that's the most important part is about winning. It's on the coach. He's the main guy. So let's start off with you, Martell. What do you think Spo got to do to get us back on track so at least we can contend? Because right now we are the number 6 seed, but it's fluctuating. We're going to get to that very shortly before we get up out of here. Plus, we're going to have a special GOAT James Kingdom chat line with all my GOAT James Kingdom members once I get out of here. Looking forward to that. So what does Spo got to do, Martell? Because we got to get on point, man.
So the problem is we just don't know where the season and this roster is headed. I know this might sound crazy. I think Jimmy Butler coming back and he ain't going nowhere. If that's the case, then they need to package up some of these dudes. Jovic and Jaime, see ya, because we're going all in. We got to go all in.
But that's GM stuff. The Spo got nothing to do with that. We're
talking
about
hold on. I say that because let's say Jimmy don't come back and we trade him. Yo, Khalil Ware better be starting. All the young dudes, they got to be playing. So that's what I'm saying is that we don't really know where this roster is going because I can't get on Spo for not playing certain dudes depending on the direction. You see what I'm saying? Because right now I think that Khalil Ware should be starting. There's no excuse for that. Whether we are competing for a championship or not, Khalil Ware needs to be next to Bam because Bam Adebayo said, I want to play the 4, and they need to listen to their franchise guy when he says that because all they're doing is pissing him off. Bam needs to be at that 4, and Khalil Ware needs to be at that 5. I'm going to need Alec Burks to play a lot more. Josh Richardson has been gone. I do not want to see him again. Hopefully he's packaged up and he's sent out of here. But like I said, the Miami Heat, we have terrible roster construction. We have a bunch of guys that can't play no defense, and Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, they can't stay in front of their man. Jimmy Butler, he's not here. So who's really on the court playing defense outside of Haywood Highsmith? And the fact that we have to rely on him to play elite perimeter defense with Bam talks about the failure of Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. So like I said, which direction are we going? And I think that the Miami Heat, they really got to get their stuff together. You know, Jimmy just posted a video of him working out in the locker room. Like I said, I don't think Jimmy Butler's going anywhere.
How?
Okay?
He's suspended. How is he in the locker room?
I don't know. I just saw a video about that.
Oh, you know what? He's away from the team. They're not in there. Okay, so go ahead. They're on a road trip. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't see Jimmy Butler going anywhere. He's going to have to bend that knee, and he's going to have to go in that locker room. He's going to have to go in that locker room, suit up, and go galvanize the troops.
That's right. Let's go, Jimmy Butler, baby. Yay.
I don't see Jimmy going nowhere. So if he doesn't go, I'm going to need some trades to get done because what Spo has right now, I can't blame him. His rotations have been terrible, and he's not playing certain guys. But outside of that, what do we really expect him to do?
How about not call a timeout when you don't have any? How about that? Let's start there.
Nah, those are simple mistakes, though. Those are simple mistakes. Like, you know, listen, those are mistakes that he's really never made. Like I said, I think he's not having his best season, but there's a lot of drama going on behind closed doors, and we don't even know the tip of it.
All right, I hear that. So what you think, Davey? What can Spo do, man? What's the resolve? What is Coach Spo resolve? What's going to happen, man? Can we rely on Spo to turn it around, at least for the basketball sense of it? Because we need to talk basketball when we talk about our.
I honestly can't say yes or no. I don't know because of what we just lost by 60 to the Utah Jazz. Like
it happens.
That's what I'm saying. No, this doesn't happen to us all. 60.
It happens in the NBA. Sometimes you just show up and you just don't show up. You know, there's a lot of snow bunnies in Utah.
Not showing up is losing by 20, 30. 60 is different.
Yep. That's playing, bro. That is lottery.
60 is different. That just means that they're not playing. They're not focused. And as the coach,
snow bunnies. There's snow bunnies in Utah.
You gotta have those guys ready because of situations like that.
That's true.
And that's why I said. And that's why I said in the beginning that they knew that this was coming when they signed Jimmy. This is what comes with Jimmy most of the time, whether it's Jimmy that causes it or the organization. This has happened everywhere he's gone. There's been some kind of controversy wherever he's gone. When he got drafted with the Bulls, like I said last night, he had a situation with Rajon Rondo, and that was a locker room issue. Next thing you know, he was gone. When he went to Minnesota, that was the issue he had there with Cat, and how he beat them with the second players with the second team in practice, and basically went to Rachel Nichols and then had the interview right after that. So you had that going on. Then you go to Philly, and instead of he had the meeting with JJ Redick, not with JJ Redick, but when JJ Redick was on the team, and he was talking to Brent Brown was the head coach at the time, I believe. And he was talking to them, and they was like, yeah, they don't know what the direction they was going in. They was like, can you handle Jimmy or what? And Jimmy was like, can you handle me? Like, am I a child? So he was like, why are they treating me like this? Like, I want to be here, but clearly they don't know if they want me here or not. Let me go to a culture that seems like it fits me more than likely. And that's why he came to Miami, because Miami fits what he does.
Yes.
It's a grit and grind kind of a team. That's what he culture is known for.
And indoors, we don't talk out like that. We don't go to the media. That's like you said, Pat Riley messed up going to the media. We don't go to the media.
Exactly.
We do everything in house.
Wait, hold on though. He went to the media though because, and this is what I mean by people forget. Pat Riley said it, that he went to Jimmy and his agent behind closed doors first. Said,
no, I'm talking about the thing about the whole thing about what Jimmy said during the offseason. That part right there, calling Jimmy out during that point.
Yeah. He told Jimmy to shut his mouth. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I mean,
yeah, you don't have to say it in public.
It's a big deal. It's Pat Riley that we're talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but usually that's something that's happened in house. That's not
exactly.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. That's all. But go ahead, Dave.
My issue with Pat is not him telling Jimmy that. It's how he did it. That's my issue. It's always been how he did it. It's not that he said it. Because you want to be able to talk to your best player and like, hey, look, this is not what we do here. We don't want that.
Yeah, he could have said that.
Because he did that. Because when Dwayne Wade had did that, when they was joking about Dirk, Pat Riley had a conversation with LeBron and Dwayne Wade after the finals. It was like, yeah, we don't. That's not what we do.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he could have answered it better. Because the question was, what do you think about Jimmy? And he brought up how Jimmy might have just been trolling. He could have said, hey, Jimmy looks like he's trolling. This is the new social media age. It's not something I would have done. But at the end of the day, that's how Jimmy is. But we've spoken to Jimmy about it, and it could have just left it at that. You see what I'm trying to say? But he didn't have to say, hey, Jimmy, shut the hell up. And if you're not playing like that, that's like calling Jimmy out. Usually you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that.
Exactly.
But go ahead, Dave. Go ahead. My bad, brother.
He just didn't need to call him out. But only thing the Spoke can do is he has to work with the rotations that he has. He can't continue to play around with these rotations. He got to find a rotation that works and stick with it. That's what he needs to do. Because if you look at all the other successful teams, they have a rotation that works. If you look at the OKC Thunder, the best team in the NBA right now, they have a rotation that works. With Lou Dort, SGA, Alex Caruso, they have the guys, and they have a rotation of what works.
Those guys are good.
And this is and they're playing good without one of their best players being available. Chet has not played in a long time, and they're on a 14-15 game win streak right now.
They're dominating right now. They're good.
So
they're good.
But again, they have the roster around them that they need. They have Isaiah Hartenstein. That was a big pickup for them because of what happens to Shaq. So they went and got a pickup to help them out. Since Isaiah Hartenstein has been there, he's only lost one game since he's been back. He's only lost one game. And like you look at the Celtics, you look at the Bucks, you look at all the other teams that are ahead of us or playing better than us right now. They have rotations that work. If you look at us, we're the only one. Well, not just us, but if you just look at how we play, we don't have a set lineup all the time. We have we probably have the most mixed starting lineups that we've had in the NBA this season, maybe, because there's too many people in and out of the lineup, and then you don't know what you're going to do with the players that you drafted, because it took now for you to be able to play Khalil Ware when you saw what he did in the summer league, you saw what he did in the preseason, and now it gets to the season and he's getting all these DNPs, or he's only getting like 5 minutes a game. That's your first pick in the draft that you have in the first round. He's not the number one overall pick, but that's your first pick in the draft, and you're playing your second round pick more than you are your first round pick. I don't know a team that does that.
That's confusing.
Someone,
That's why.
someone tell me a
team.
Someone tell me a team whose head coach plays their second round pick or an undrafted pick more than they play their first round pick. It does not make sense. That doesn't even happen in the NFL. So why would you do that now? It just doesn't make sense what Spo's doing with these lineups sometimes. And yes, Thomas Bryant is now gone. That's why you have Khalil Ware.
How did we get rid of Thomas Bryant?
We traded him for like some money and a pick.
Okay, that's why. No wonder why I didn't hear about it, because I was like, when did we get rid of Thomas Bryant? I didn't even know that. But
yeah, we traded him to the Pacers. So
yeah, I know he's over there. Yeah, I didn't know when we did that.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm glad he's there now in Miami.
Yeah, but landed here so we can finish up the show because we getting past an hour, so we can get up out of here because I know y'all guys things you got to do. But go ahead and land it, brother.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Pretty much everything, man.
Yeah.
I
agree with you.
He got to work through the rotations. He got to do better. He got to find something. He got to find something that fits. And we have, like I said, we have a point guard that I think we should at least give some opportunities to. Isaiah Stevens. Just give him an opportunity. We say we're missing something. We see that Rozier is not working, and there's just no other point guard. We're putting Tyler Hero in an uncomfortable situation by making him the point guard. Just give the young kid a chance right at this point. Just do something.
Well, that's my thing with Spo. I think that he has this thing where he just, once you in the doghouse with him, you're in the doghouse, talking about no pun intended with your channel, but he puts you in the doghouse. I think he should do the Kerr way, where he plays 12, 13 guys in a game, just see who does what sometimes, because sometimes that's what you just got to do that. You know what I mean? So I think Spo has to change his philosophy as well, like we say Pat Riley has to, and and that's just the idea of what Spo got to do. But in reality, guys, I don't think we're in a bad space. I like to do what I call the Miami team Heat grade, right? I like to give the Heat a grade for what they do during the regular season and how they're playing during the regular season. And in reality, if we look at what the Miami Heat have been doing, I give them a C right now. With all that drama we got going on, with all the different holes we need to fill, with everything that we're saying, the Heat is still a good team. We're not that great offensively, but we were not that great of an offensive team last year. So that hasn't really changed. But we're still shooting good from the three-point line. We're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. We do take a lot of three-pointers because we can shoot them well. Shooting them above 37% is actually good. And we were actually shooting better to start off the year. So we're still all right offensively. Like I said, if we can find a point guard, it would change a lot for our offense. It would change everything that we need to do. And then also on the defensive side, we're not as good as we were last year defensively. Obviously, we're missing some players that we had. There were some good defenders the last couple of years because especially with Jimmy not playing this year like we want Jimmy to play. So our defense is not as great, but we're still top 15, and we can up that. We can get better. So that's why I give us a C grade in total, because at the end of the day, we're really not that bad. We're 17-16. We played tonight versus the Sacramento Kings, who's also struggling. They just fired their coach. They're having chemistry issues. We don't know if their star wants to stay there, right? So we have a lot going on, because when we're talking about the next few games here, we got basically Sacramento Kings, Golden State, Utah, and Portland. Those are all winnable games. We can sweep this and win 4 straight and come back with a 4-game and be 21-16. So in reality, I don't think we have too much to worry about. I still think we have a lot to root for. I'm happy with what we have right now. We need to fix a lot of things, obviously, but we still have a good crew that's out here hustling for us night in and night out. So I give them a C. Let's start with you, Martell. What grade would you give the Heat at this point of the season?
They got to get a fat F overall, because listen, at the end of the day, these past 2 seasons, you're telling me 3 years in the play-in tournament almost. And like I said,
I can't with you, Martell.
I gotta hold these people accountable. Like I said, bad roster construction, bad asset management. We have no size, no point guard. Rozier, he's playing terrible. Bam Adebayo, he's playing terrible. Jimmy's over here lying and capping about he ain't got no joy when he's making $48.8 million a year, making $500,000 a year, while the same people that say that I'm wrong, they got to get up and go to work every day. This Miami Heat team needs to get it together. Pat Riley needs to wake up. I don't want Joe Biden. I want Pat Riley back. Guys, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for all the support. Make sure that you guys subscribe to Goat James Kingdom and Davy's Doghouse and Refuse to Lose. Thank you guys for having me on this platform. Please Send me this video, and we're gonna continue to cook these idiots until they turn around the great franchise that we love and enjoy. Thank you guys for having me on the show, and I'm out.
No doubt, no doubt. Appreciate you, man. Peace,
Appreciate you,
Martel,
Martel.
man. All right, brother. Appreciate you, brother. So let's go ahead and let's get what would be your grade there, and we'll end the show with that. Well, what grade would you give our Heat starting for the 33 games? Like I said, we're 17-16 with all the drama, with everything that's been going on.
I would say I would give us a C- or D+ at the at the very
At
least.
worst. Okay.
And I say that it's because even with all of that drama, we're still 6th in the East right now. We could easily be 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th. We could easily be that because of everything that's going on, because Jimmy has not necessarily been available, because Bam has played terrible, because Terry Rozier has played terrible. We could easily just only be we easily could only have 10 wins right now. That easily could, I could see that because of everything that's been going on, because we haven't had the roster that we needed, because of all of that. But we are in position that we are now. It's because of Tyler Hero. If you look at Tyler Hero, he's been the most consistent player on the team this season. Now, he's had a few bad games here and there, but not everybody's going to play well every single game. The best player in the league to the worst player in the league, no one plays the same way every single game. The worst player in the league will probably have a highlight game and have 20 points, and that's be the most he'll ever score in his life. But he averages about 4 points per game. I mean, that's what happens. And guys like SGA, I'm pretty sure he's had a game where he did not score 20 plus points. It happens. It happens. Jokic has had bad games. He's had games where he's been dominant and they still lost. So for me, like I said, I give us a C-, D+, because even with everything that's going on, we're still 6th. We're not in the play-in tournament right now. And last year at this time we were. So right now it's a little bit it's okay, but we're still not where we should be. I mean, we're literally a game and a half above the Hawks, and I mean, it's not.
But like I said, we're a 4-game winning streak away from being right there where the Magic's are. So we can do it. We're not looking bad, bro. We got a good team, bro. We just gotta we gotta get some. We just gotta get some more aggressiveness out of Bam for him, because the 13 shots per game is what bothers me more than anything. If he was taking 16, 17 shots per game, I would feel more comfortable about it. I think we got some good guys, but we shoot good from the perimeter as far as 3-point shooter. Burke shoots well, Highsmith shoots well, Duncan's shooting well, Hero shooting well. You're talking about 4 shooters that are on the floor a majority of the time. Spo has to define the roles better, but like I said, man, we got a good roster, we got a good team, and it's not what we want, but it's what we can keep rooting for, and we got, like you said, like Martel, keep putting pressure on the organization to help us out, because they're trying, the guys are trying. We just got to keep rooting for them, man, because I still think that it's a lot can happen between now and April. To be honest with you, it's the time is shortening up, but I still think we got some time to do some things. Yeah. So I feel you, man. A C- is not bad. A D+ is not bad. I gave him a C, so I feel you on that.
I'd say it's an okay roster. I don't know about good right now, but I say okay.
For what we got going on and all the drama we've been having with the Heat, man, has been crazy, man. But look, Dave, I want to thank you for joining me, man. I'm looking forward to doing this every Monday. If you're available, we'll do it right here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform. You can actually stream it on your platforms as well. It'll be available to you guys, because like I said, man, we want to be big-time Heat fans, talk about the Heat, and do big things. So thank you for joining me, man. You got any last words, any last plugins before you get up out of here?
Nah, man, just make sure you subscribe to GOAT James Kingdom, support his channel. And then, make sure you tune in to Feast to Lose Sports. Like I said, every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. And tune in to Dave's Doghouse. It's once a week. Whenever I'll go live,
No doubt, no doubt. I subscribe to your channel, and I'm also following you on Instagram as well. Y'all know what to do, ladies and gentlemen. As y'all told y'all, man, this is the GOAT James Kingdom Heat Hour. We're doing this every Monday, noon Eastern time, where we're going to be talking about the Heat. I was a little distracted these past couple of weeks, this past month or so, because of all the crazy debates that we do here in GOAT James Kingdom. Again, if you like to talk about the GOAT conversation, we go live every Sunday noon right here on the GOAT James Kingdom platform with the GOAT James Kingdom show with B. Lee and Ajani, and we do big things where we talk about basketball in general. But that's not what today's show is about, because like I told y'all, I'm a big-time Heat fan, and I've been sad that we have this. Again, this is supposed to be Biscayne in June. Now, all of these graphs I made with Jimmy Butler, I got to take him out of it. I got to remove him because the Godfather said so. It's over. Jimmy's gone. And it really hurts my heart, man. I had great stuff like this for us to celebrate Jimmy Butler being a part of the Heat.
Go Heat. Let's go Heat. I the Heat. I the Heat.
But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. No more Jimmy. It's a wrap for you, Jimmy. We're going to move on from you, even though some of us don't believe he's going to be gone. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, like I told you, this is the GOAT James Kingdom platform. This is the Heat Hour right here on the Monday night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Martell, for being a part of this. Let's go Heat. And like I told y'all, it's always Biscayne in June, bitches.
Welcome to GOAT James Kingdom, where basketball lives forever. You get to enjoy B. Lee and Ajani talk basketball every Sunday noon Eastern time right here on the GOAT James Kingdom channel. Support by subscribing, and also check out the membership at GOAT James Kingdom.